Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm a WOC nurse, and I'm curious specifically to Ryan and Lois, because you were so young when you had your ostomy, how did you share your ostomy surgery with your peers or when you were dating, without getting too personal, but I think that's a challenge.
I mean, it's still, I share my story all the time when I'm meeting someone new, or not like, hey, every single person I meet off the street, but yeah, I mean, I guess in friendships and in dating relationships, I kind of just let it happen naturally. It wasn't something that, again, I didn't let it define me, so it wasn't anything that was really a big deal to me. And so I kind of took that attitude in friendships or in relationships that when it came out, and if that person was okay with it, great, and if they weren't, then they weren't someone that I needed to be in my life or a relationship with. If they weren't seeing me who I really was and were looking down at me or judging me for scars or an ostomy, then that wasn't something that I wanted to kind of associate myself with. So I think in younger, I had friends. My close peer group knew how sick I was. They were around me all the time. And after I had the surgery and kind of reconnected with friends and was more social and kind of able to be who I wanted to be, I remember it was years ago. I was playing on a softball team, and I don't know. I don't think I was doing anything special, but after the game, changed out of my jersey into a shirt to go out to like a bar or something, and a teammate noticed my ostomy, like, wait, like, what is that? And I told them, and they were, if anything, they were like blown away that I out hustled, or like they're like, I had no idea, like, you've been doing all these things all this time, and I never knew, and it inspired me to, like, yeah, this motivates me because I don't let it define me. But at the same time, you can't see what people, unless you're shirtless, or you can't see what people have or been through. So I think, if anything, when people do find out about it, it's generally been very positive. I actually I've never had a negative reaction from someone finding it out if I have an ostomy or surgery. So yeah.
For me, I took my cue from some friends wanted to know more information. Some friends were not comfortable knowing a lot of information. They were just happy that I was healthy. Like Ryan, we don't go out and, oh, want to see my ostomy? Do you know what a stoma is? Let me tell you. As far as, so depending on how much information friends were comfortable with, that I sort of took my cues from them. As far as intimacy, I have one story that I knew I had met this person and we could see where the direction was going. And I let him know that I had been sick, that I had Crohn's disease, that I had had surgery, that I was healthy. I told him what the surgery was, and I said, is this going to bother you? And he looked at me and he said, I don't care. He said, it doesn't change who you are as a person. He said, you won't get rid of me that easily. He was also an alcoholic. But he was in recovery. We lived together. And he was very supportive. It was not an issue. The few times that I had a leak, it was no big deal. And then I did have another incident where I had given this person a tape to watch when I was on local television in Seattle. And he came to pick me up a few days later, and I could see, I already could tell that something wasn't right. He didn't even want to sit next to me at dinner, and there was very little conversation. And so I said to him, well, what did you think of the tape? And he said, he made some sort of a comment as he's backing away from me. And I never saw him again. And I was secure enough in myself as who I was as a person. I realized this was an issue for him. He couldn't handle it, but that didn't affect me because I was okay with me. And like you, why would you want to have someone in your life who, I mean, I can't, my stoma and I are intimately connected here. We have this relationship. You'd have to take the whole package. And I think we all have something in someone else that we can't handle. And I knew that those were his issues, and I was okay with it. And so for me, it really has not been an issue intimacy-wise. And again, I take my cues from people. And if they are interested, I will share information, and that's how I deal with it.